Lots of it gets burned and makes toxic chemicals that are not good for our bodies. Then some of it just gets taken and thrown into a different country, often harming the populations there. Did you know 3 million tons of plastic gets thrown away a year? That's almost the amount every single person's body weight put together. 65% of mangoes that are produced a year are thrown out and wasted. On average, 3 million tons of polystyrene foam gets thrown out a year. Americans alone throw away 25 billion polystyrene cups every year, which is about 82 cups per person. And the American population is only about 332 million people.
Our solution is reusing materials that solves these problems. For example, if you were to use traditionally made leather, upcycling if you will, turning a rawhide into leather would require a huge quantity of water and toxic chemicals. Like most things in the world, the impact is the most brutal on poorer and less developed regions, both in terms of human health and environmental degradation. It's our mission to drive positive change in both the furniture industry and for our planet. Our collection is made from mango vegan leather, a highly sustainable material. Our supports are made out of recycled plastic pallets and cushioning made from recycled film, something that is very hard to recycle or reuse.
Mangoes that would otherwise be wasted will be used towards production of vegan leather that will be used in our furniture as an alternative to traditional leather. Traditional leather is produced using most commonly the hide of cows. Livestock, which includes cattle, is the largest source of agricultural emissions worldwide, and cattle are the top source of methane in the United States, while mango leather causes none.
In the beginning, we are estimated to gain $29,686, which might not sound like a lot. However, in the long run, which is our plan, our profit will keep raising. One big expense in the beginning is the advertising, because we have an online market. After a few years, the advertising expense will come down by half, as we will have built a reputation.
Our biblical application is John 6:12, which reads, "When they had all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, 'Gather the pieces that are left over, let nothing be wasted.'" This verse accurately represents how God wishes us to make the most of what he has blessed us with on earth, something that we often take for granted. We also have a company website that will be expanded once we have items that I apparently can't access. And then this will give how to contact and our story and just a bit more about us in quotes for products. Thank you for watching our presentation, and we hope you enjoy our products. Get in touch to learn more about our process and to see what we can do for you.
You're going to have to explain to me the mango leather. I need to know about that process.
So in our source country, 65% of mangoes are thrown out or wasted. And basically we would buy from a manufacturer who takes mangoes and essentially makes them into a puree that gets mixed with additives such as recycled plastic. It comes out as like a syrup, and then you put that in on trays and bake them. And then once they're baked, they are put through a drying process a few times, and then that is the leather.
Is the mango leather edible?
I do not believe so.
So the
clarify, are you saying that mango leather is an existing product that just most of us don't know about yet? And it's marketed now and it holds up and, okay, thank you.
That's what this question expands on. So you can ensure the quality of the mango leather, that's been proven. Okay. And if someone's unsatisfied with the purchase, if you could address that, as well as supply chain. Are there any issues that might affect your supply chain as far as availability of product?
At this point, we are not really worried about our supply. Like, there's a big issue with fruit being more wasted. It's like 1/3 of all produce right now is being thrown out. And so because of that, it hasn't really been an issue, but if it did become an issue, we just have to research more into that.
Could you explain the life cycle as far as resourcing all of the different parts? Because you've got a number of different reusable, recyclable products in your final product. Where are they all coming from?
We're buying from manufacturers for the mango leather and the plastic, and then the foam we're taking from like recycling places. So like we're not making anything, we're buying it all from people.
And also, so the mango leather is vegan, and that's recycled, and then our foam is recycled. The bone supports and plastic supports are recyclable, and then we're getting those transported, and that would go to our manufacturing warehouse, and then that would turn into the finished product.
I can see that it's up on your board. It's just kind of small for me right now. So you talk about how you're purchasing all of your. Oh yeah, I want to see the prototype too. That looks cool. Ooh, you should look at that. Sorry, I got a lot of questions about cost and marketing. So you're buying all of your products from other places, sounds like, to create the product, right? All the pieces, even though they're recycled, which is good, right? And so have you measured the prices of? So can you say what the prices are from up there, and then also how you're going to market them so people would rather buy that than a regular couch?
The second question, this couch, the price is more different pieces to the couch, goes for $580, $560, $390, and $410. And why would people want to buy this couch over other couches? It's because there's different pieces and you can arrange it however you want to suit your living room instead of having to search around for the right shape or whatever.
So essentially, you could buy one couch and be good, or you could buy 6 couches and you get it. Just depends. Like, it leaves it up to you. It's customizable.
Just to be clear, you're the manufacturing process of this, correct? You're putting the furniture in. Okay. And then some of the groupies in the back wanted to know if Little Knucklehead, or whatever his stage name is he going to do a concert to help promote your product? Style.
No.
Right answer, because I believe they have a contract for you that's exclusive, isn't that correct? Okay, thank you.
So I know you buy your mango leather from someone else, but there's a question about the process of the mango leather. and they're asking, do you know where your supplier gets the mangoes? And I would add to that, have you thought about the environmental impact of your supplier and where they get their mangoes and like the fuel required and the processing required?
So it's kind of started out as was a smaller business, but it's growing as it's selling more and more things to a lot of different companies that make shoes and purses. Where they get the mangoes from is it's sourced in Europe, and it gets a lot of it from the thrown away fruit because of rules. You can't use a lot of the fruit, even though it might look good. A lot of it still can't be used, so it just gets thrown out. So they're taking all of the thrown out fruit and taking it and making leather out of that. As per the fume, not sure about that one.
I have two. I have one that's mine and one that's from the question. But if you guys are sourcing your materials from other places, what are you going to do, especially with a growing business like the mango leather, if the prices increase due to other types of industries looking for that? Is there a plan for an alternative or like an option? Because that's what you guys have thought about in your price cost.
Eventually, it would be a really cool idea to eventually start making our own leather, especially since we want to be placed in Oregon. There's a lot of orchards and stuff that we can take it, and pears is a really good one that has a lot of fibers to make leather from.
And also, we are marketing to higher class people. It would be like being eco-friendly is definitely on trend right now, and so it is like a growing market, and it's expected to grow quite a bit. But there's also, you can make it from mushrooms, pineapple, apples, and pears.
So mangoes are a food, and they're a fruit, right? So they're biodegradable. So why are you choosing to use material from a food that's not trash, because it's biodegradable? Why aren't you using something that would otherwise be harming the environment by becoming trash?
When it breaks down, so there's a lot of fox leather out there, but this one's more eco-friendly than the fox leather because that's plastic. And they do recycle plastic into the actual formula for making the leather. So they don't just use the mangoes, they'll use other things. And the mangoes, with where they go, I mean, they can create mold and a lot of things, so.
And then also, we are trying to be eco-friendly by replacing the leather making process that is traditional and harms the environment quite a bit.
Have you thought about contacting any local orcharded families to see if they have any products that you use to make your couches?
I think there's plenty.
This one comes from the iPad, but the question was, you're making a product using a lot of recycled materials and creating a new product. Is your product recyclable as well? And what's the end cycle look like from the customer? Does that get brought back to you for the recycling, or is it expected that they do that?
It can be brought back for recycling because all the materials inside can be recycled and degradable.
Okay, the question is, don't people already make, I think they mean other companies, already make cube couches that you can customize? So I guess the question is, how will you compete? What makes you stand out from other companies that make modular furniture?
Honestly, when I researched it, there weren't a ton of companies that had as unique of a product as us. And then I just think like drilling that eco-friendly bit of it is really important because that is what makes us unique and why we even started this whole process.
So maybe you guys mentioned this, but and I missed it. But how did you guys come up with the cost structure and the profitability of your company? Is that based off of something you guys did? I don't know. I don't know if you mentioned the cost of the different pieces. Is it by piece? Is there like packages that come together, and where does that cost come from?
I guess I don't really understand the question.
I don't know like how much they're charging by pieces sold separately
Each piece is sold separately, and markup percentage was, I want to say somewhere around 75% to make a profit, which is still cheaper than a lot of couches. Like it's a lot cheaper.
Do you guys have anything for us to see that has to do with like your cost calculations, like how much you're gonna pay your employees and how you're gonna make a profit, all that stuff? I don't see anything in front of us. Do you have something printed for us? Oh yeah, it just was like so brief. I had like time to look at it. Yeah. So someone put that back out. That'd be good.
Um, you said you're located in Eugene. Why Eugene? Why did you choose Eugene instead of Hood River?
It is still really close to a lot of orchards over there, and there's already a warehouse there. There's a property for sale for pretty cheap. There's a warehouse with all the utilities that we need already wired into the warehouse.
Fun fact, when I lived in Mexico, I had a friend named Jim Dandy, and he had a huerta, which was a farm. Anyway, he used to come to my place with the back of his truck full of mangoes, and then he would just step on the gas and do a cookie, and the mangoes would just fly all over my yard, and then he would drive away.
Whoever spelled wrong with an E, you got that wrong.
How does using mango leather cut down the methane release from cows if the cows die to produce leather?
If you're farming leather, you're in raising cows.
And we're assuming you don't have to refrigerate your couches. What is your net income with all the competition expenses to produce these pieces of furniture? I think you stated that. Could you restate your net income again?
The first year was $29,686, and it raises. In the second year is just over $44,000, and it keeps raising. I don't remember the exact number, but we go up to the fifth year on an actual graph, and it's up there by a decent amount. Percentage